Hello there guys, my name is Mr. Missing in Action and welcome to this, the first YouTube video of my new channel devoted to Raid Shadow Legends. The aim of my channel is to help those of you in the early to mid game. There are a lot of content creators on YouTube producing some very good high quality videos for you, but they seem to be focusing on those players that are in the mid to late game, whereas I want to focus on those of you in the early to mid game, help you to improve your accounts. I'd love to be helping those of you that are free to play, so a lot of my videos are going to be based on how to improve your account as a free to play early game player. So with that in mind, today we're going to take a look at my top 5 uncommon champions. For those of you in the early to mid game, free to play, you're going to be using quite a few uncommons. In terms of the rares, you're not going to get much of a chance to pull many Ancient Void or Sacred Shards. So you're going to be looking at utilising some of the stronger uncommons within the game. And there are some real gems in there. So that's what I'm all about. Hopefully my videos will be informative and entertaining at the same time. So let's get straight into it. I'm currently sitting what I believe to be early mid-game. I'm level 52. In terms of the arena, I'm hanging out in Silver 1 at the moment. I've been there for a few days. I've completed that really tough Silver 1 arena mission. If you take a look at my missions, I'm currently at the moment trying to acquire 50 silver medals to move past this particular one here. I'm at 15 at the moment. And once I get past there, it's plain sailing for a good 15-20 missions. So that's my number one aim for the next few days, is to make my way past that particular mission. Anyway, this is my first video and I'd like to get it off to a good start. So we are in a summon rush at the moment, the Creeler Witch Arm summon rush. And I have 2 ancients. So let's get on with it. Let's open these ancients, see what I can get, see if I can get that beginner YouTube look. Here we go. Keep your fingers crossed for me, guys. Let's get the channel off to a good start here. So here comes the first one. Oh, this is tense actually. It's a rare, and it's food. Crossbowmen. However, for those of you in the early game, let's have a quick look. Nothing special in regards to his A1. Attacks one enemy. He's got a 15% chance of placing the extra hit if you ascend it. A2, what have we got? Increased crit rate buff on all allies for 2 turns and granting an extra turn. Increased crit rate, it's okay in the early game. Where you've probably not built your crit rate up to 100% or nearly. But as you move into that mid-game, when you're going to be building that crit rate up and getting it up there, it's kind of a pointless buff there. A3, Blunted Arrow, single target again. Stun on there, which is nice, 50% chance of placing it. It is only on the one opponent. And a 50% chance of placing the strong version of decreased speed as well for 2 turns. So that's kind of nice. But on a long cooldown, he's food for me, guys. Okay, fingers crossed on the second one. I do want that beginner YouTube look. Here we go. Here we go. What have I got? What have I got? It's another rare. And Hatchet Slinger. Let's take a look at this guy. I think he's going to be food for me again. Okay, attacks one enemy 2 times. Gives him some potential in Fire Knight. 80% chance of ignoring 15% of the target's defense if this champion has 50% HP or higher. 10% chance of placing a stun if he's less than 50 HP. Okay, it's better than some A1s you're going to find on rares. Oh, places an unkillable buff on this champion for 2 turns. Okay, interesting. 7-turn cooldown. It can be brought down to 4. So you can have this guy unkillable for half of the time. I might be able to do something with this guy actually. Let's have a look at this one. Locked behind Ascension level 3. Hatchets for all. 5% chance of counter-attacking when hit. 25% chance of counter-attacking when hit with a critical hit. Okay. Don't think I'm going to be able to do anything with him, but I might take a look at him later. Yeah, not the best to look to begin with, but okay, let's move on. Main reason I did it was because I wanted to pull another basically rare tomb from the event. I'm getting pretty close to that now with those 2. Anyway, on to my top 5 uncommon champions. Those are the champions that are going to serve you the best in the early to mid game. I wouldn't take any of them except for the number 1 guy past 5-star 50. The number 1 guy, yeah, take him all the way. He's used in endgame by all but the biggest of whales. We'll get onto him at the end, so stay tuned to find out who my number 1 uncommon champion is at the end of this video. Also, as well, at the end of the video, leave a comment, particularly if you think I've missed somebody off the list. Maybe you know of another diamond in the rough down in the uncommons that I've perhaps missed. But here we go. We're actually going to start with... oh, I've gone into the wrong one. I'm sorry, I wanted to go into the index. We're actually going to start with a guy that nearly made my top 5. He's kind of an honourable mention, so I guess it's kind of a top 6, but he makes a top 6, really. So yeah, we want to be going into the Sacred Order. Honourable mention for this guy here, Pilgrim. He almost made the top 6. Reasonable defense. He's a support-based character. Reasonable HP. Speed is pretty good for an uncommon as well at 98. 2 skills as always with uncommons. On the A1 we've got a double hitter, attacks one enemy 2 times. So he's got some potential for early Fire Knight. Those early stages where the boss has only got 5 levels of shield rather than 10. This guy's got some potential there. Also, each hit decreases the turn meter of the enemy by 5%. So again, it's going to be kind of useful for Fire Knight. Drop his turn meter a little bit. It is on the A1, so it's consistent. So it's got that about it. It's kind of nice, actually. Yeah, if you're going to be using this guy, probably Fire Knights, early stages. A2, this is the reason he almost made it onto my list. He places increased defense on all your allies for 2 turns. It is the weak form at 30%, but don't underestimate increased defense as a buff. It's the kind of the most solid one out there that you're going to find. It's going to make your guys a lot more survivable. It is 4 turns, places it for 2, but you are going to be getting this cooldown to 3. This is the nice thing about uncommon champions, actually. You tend to get a lot of duplicates. And duplicates on uncommons that you want to build are books. So it means booking him out, like all uncommon champions, is going to be nice and easy. So yeah, increased defense on for 2 turns every 3 turns, as well as that turn meter reduction on the boss and the double hit. Yeah, you can use this guy. He's serviceable in the early game. As I say, don't take him to 6-star. He's early to mid game. Okay, on to the real top 5 then. So we're going to stay in the Sacred Order. Coming at number 5, I've got Outlaw Monk. Outlaw Monk is a specialist. You're only going to be using him in one area, and that's Clan Boss. He's got a very good attack score, kind of irrelevant for this guy in terms of how you're going to be using it. Speed 96, reasonable again for an uncommon. His Achilles heel though is his defense 694. It's going to make him kind of difficult to keep alive. So when you are using this guy in Clan Boss, you kind of need to stack him with defense. Yeah, so let's go through his skills and the reason why you're going to use him in Clan Boss. Dagger throw A1, nothing special. You kind of only be using this while you're waiting for the A2 to cool down. Single attack, 10% chance granting the extra turn. It's kind of a bit meh. Doesn't really hit that hard. But A2 is the reason you're going to be taking this guy, building him up to 5-star. He places 2 of the strong forms of poison on the target for 2 turns. You're going to be bringing the cooldown to 3. So this is really, really good for Clan Boss. Poison is the way you're going to do a lot of damage on the Clan Boss. It stacks. It does a lot of damage. If you haven't got Kale as your starter, this guy is going to be your poisoner. If you have got Kale, this guy is a secondary poisoner. That's how you deal with the Clan Boss. Particularly early, you're going to be throwing poison after poison on that Clan Boss. So yeah, the fact that he places it is good, so he doesn't need the hit. He doesn't actually need to hit, so you haven't got to worry about weak hits or anything on this guy. Yeah, this guy's solid for early game. Yeah, he's going to be your Clan Boss specialist in terms of poison. Okay, so we need to switch up from the Sacred Order now, and we're going to move on to Barbarians. 2 Barbarians on my list again. Coming in at number 4, I've got Shield Guard. Shield Guard is a solid uncommon, defense-based character with a reasonable defense. It's just over 1,000. Pretty solid HP. Speed 89, kind of a little bit low. But yeah, let's take a look at your skills. A1, uppercut, single hit, 30% chance of placing decreased speed. Yeah, damage is based on defense, which is what you're looking for. Means you can build him with a lot of defense. He's going to be survivable, and also his damage is based on it, so he's going to be hitting relatively hard as well. That 30% chance you can bring up to 50%. A2, this is the reason one of the reasons he's on my list. AoE attack, he's going to be hitting everybody. This is a solid skill for an uncommon. Because every time he crits, he's going to fill his turn meter by 20%. So if he's hitting a crit on sort of 4 or 5 opponents, that turn meter bar is basically filling up immediately. He's going again. He's going with his A1 while he waits for this one to cool down. On a 2-turn cooldown with the booking, of course, which you're going to do. Really nice skill on an uncommon for sure. And then he's got a really solid passive as well. I mean, removes a debuff at every turn. This is kind of an epic level passive rather than an uncommon. So this guy is really, really strong. He could be a campaign farmer because he's going to be hitting this AoE a lot of the time with the filling of the turn meter and getting it down to 2 turns. So yeah, that's Shield Guard. Solid guy to build up to 5-star. Number 3, Barbarian again, Zephyr Sniper. Again, this one could be your campaign farmer. Even higher defense this time. Again, a defense-based champion. Speed 100, which is great for an uncommon. 2 skills again. AoE on the A1, so in a way she's a better campaign farmer for you. She's also got this nice additional skill on there, 15% chance of increasing the cooldown of a random skill on each target. So she's going to be hitting everybody every turn. 15% chance, booked up to 30, of actually increasing the cooldown of a random skill. So this is great because this means you're going to be putting their best, or potentially their best skills on lockdown, forcing them to use their A1s on you. So they're going to be hitting you back with their weaker skills. A2, she comes in with some heals, places a 7.5% continuous heal buff on everybody for 2 turns, again on a 4-turn cooldown. So every turn your allies are going to be recouping 7.5% of their maximum HP. So she's a sort of support champion in that respect as well. Very nice, solid uncommon. Again, wouldn't take her past 5-star. Moving on now to the top 2. In second place, here we go, Lizardmen. Saurus. Saurus, again, it makes a very good campaign farmer. 2 AoEs. The first one is kind of simple, nothing special about it, just hits everybody. However, he's got nice damage multipliers. He is an attack-based champion. He's got a very high attack for an uncommon at over 1200. Speed in defense are his Achilles heel, though. You're going to have a real challenge keeping this guy alive, and you've got to stack him with a load of speed to actually make him go before the opponents. A2 is also an AoE. This one hits 2 times, so this is the one you're going to be looking to play the most the time. Hits really hard. 10% chance of placing heal reduction, which is nice. Means your opponent is not going to be able to heal up 100%. It's going to be 50%. Also places it, so it's kind of automatic. You don't have to worry about weak hits if the target has 40% less or 40% or less HP. This guy's a great farmer, but he's a bit squishy. And we're going to move on to my top uncommon hero. This is the guy that you can take to 6-star. And for me, I absolutely would. He's got a lot of utility in the dungeons. But we're going to get onto him into a second. First off, let's take a quick break. Here we go. Okay then guys, so for my number 1 uncommon, the guy you absolutely must build, if it's the only uncommon you do build, we need to go back to the Sacred Order. Okay, and in the Sacred Order, at the end of the list of uncommons, you find this guy here. This is Armageddon. Armageddon is an uncommon champion, but when you look at his skill set, he's got an epic skill set. There's no questions about it. This guy is used by, as I say, endgame players. This guy can do a perfectly good job in sort of Spider 20, Fire Knight 20, He can work in Ice Golem because of the skill that he has in terms of a block revive. We'll see that in a second. Yeah, he's an epic in an uncommon skin, this one. So let's take a look at him. In terms of his base stats, nothing to write home about. He's a defense-based character. So to have a defense of 947, he's actually kind of low. Speed of 92, a bit meh. Attack, not really worried about. He's a defense character. HP is okay, but check out these skills, guys. On the A1, we have a single hit, decreases the turn meter by 30% if the attack is critical. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. So yeah, this decreases the turn meter by 30% when it's critical. This is one of the two things in his kit that makes him an absolute must. So what you want to do with this guy is you want to build his crit rate to 100% or as close as you possibly can in the early game. Because what he's going to do, he's going to hit the boss. This guy's a boss killer. He's going to hit the boss, whether it's the spider, the fire knight, or the ice golem. And he's going to, basically, if you've got enough accuracy, that's also important, guys. Don't neglect the accuracy. If you've got enough accuracy, he's going to immediately take 30% off the turn meter. And he's going to be doing that every turn. So yeah, build him with accuracy, 100% crit rate, and as much speed as you can get on there. Defense stats after that. Try to keep him alive as much as possible. And then this guy will do a great job of keeping the turn meter down on the boss. Be aware though, you can't reduce the turn meter on the dragon. This guy is not being used in dragon. But the other three dungeons, he's kind of S tier. And then onto the A2. Again, single hit. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense, and then this bit's really important, increases according to enemy max HP. Now this is a really solid thing to have in his kit. Enemy max P, these guys, when you see these, there are some others. There's like a Void Rare, Cold Heart. There's several of them. There's Royal Guard and Epic, but this guy is the most accessible of all of them, being the uncommon champion. So what actually happens is that when he hits the boss with this, he's going to factor in the boss's maximum HP and his damage. So as you progress through the dungeons and you get to higher stages, where the boss starts to ramp up in terms of their max HP, this guy's damage is going to ramp up as well. I mean, this guy can hit for silly numbers on bosses. So he's absolutely a boss killer. I mean, he keeps their turn meter down. When their turn meter's low enough, he's going to come in with this later rest, and he's going to slam them hard. It's also really nice for the ice golem. This last bit here, enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. So when you hit those adds that keep reviving, if this guy is the one to kill them, they're just not coming back with the block revive skill. So everything about his kit, even though it's fairly limited in terms of the number of skills, everything that he's got on these two skills is absolutely epic tier. You could almost make a case for legendary tier, these particular skills. The only thing that's holding him back, as I say, is those basic stats. You do need to get that crit rate to 100%. You do need a good level of accuracy, so you can actually do this decreasing of turn meter. You do need some speed on this guy, so that he can actually cycle through these skills and use them as often as possible. And you really want to try and get this defense up as much as possible. Not really for the damage, but just to keep him alive. Anyway, so that's Armageddon. I'm actually in the process of building my own Armageddon at the moment. He's not 5-star yet. Let me show you my Armageddon. Where is he? Armageddon, there he is. I've currently got him up to 4-star, fully ascended at 4-star. If we take a look at him, he is a work in progress, guys, and I am early mid-game, so he's not currently wearing the best of my equipment in terms of artifacts and accessories. He's not fully where I want him to be, of course, yet, but as you can see, I'm trying to prioritise crit rate. Let me go into the total stats, it's easier to view. I got my crit rate currently at 77%. I need to push that on a little bit. My accuracy, 93. Remember, accuracy is important for the decreasing of the turn meter. Currently got his speed up to 106. It's too low, but he is a work in progress. Defense, again, is too low. It's just currently at 908. But he is a work in progress. I am prioritising crit rate and accuracy more than anything at the minute. I do have a guy, Rockbreaker, who, with his provoke and other skills, is able to sort of pull the damage away from weaker people on my team, like Armageddon. So yeah, crit rate and accuracy is what I'm trying to build on this guy at the minute. Anyway, so yeah, this has been my first video. If you found it enjoyable and informative, please subscribe. Please hit the like button. I'm here to try and help those of you in the early game. I'm not going to be showing you guides on sort of crazy legendaries. For one, I don't have them at the minute. I've only got 2 legendaries, Ghostborn and Skull Lord. So that kind of content is not going to be coming from me. So yeah, I'm here, give you the guides, help you out with what you should be doing in the early game. Yeah, subscribe, like, comment. As I say, the comment should be something ideally about any particular uncommon champion on this video that you think I've missed. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow with my guide on the 18 farmable rares from the campaign. I'll be ranking them for you, going through their skills again as quickly as we can, and telling you who you want to be feeding, who you want to be 5-starring, and who is actually 6-star potential from that bunch. So guys, Mr. Missing in Action, he's over and out. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're doing. Hope the weather's good for you. Hope you enjoy everything that's going to go on in the next 24 hours before you see me again. Peace out.